Hello guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. I am Daisy, and as you have seen on the topic, today we're going to do a very sensitive topic, and I think it's going to be a series about just healing from our past and healing from our childhood traumas and everything. So guys, as much as I am a firm believer that our past should not define us, I also believe that there are some aspects in our past or things that happen to us while we are still young that really define and determine how we behave. People have different pasts. Some people have a good past, some people have a struggling childhood, some people their childhood was just good, some people had a lot of love in their childhood, some people never had love in their childhood, some people experienced a lot of abuse and toxicity in their childhood. This affects different aspects of our life and how we relate to people and how we react to issues and how we just deal with issues at times. So guys, when I talk about childhood traumas, those are the toxic things that happen to you in your childhood or happen to me in my childhood that really affects our adulthood life and how we deal with issues. Some of these things can be such as abuse, neglect, a lot of toxicity, abandonment, lack of love, and affection. So guys, what are some of the things that people face that affect their childhood? Up to this point, I really like to recommend you to go and research something about attachment styles for you to know your attachment style, and I think we're going to talk about it in my next topic. So guys, the assignment that I'm giving you today is go find out your attachment style. So like when we're talking more about this, you get it. But I researched that I'm a fearful avoidant, and all the characteristics that was given of fearful avoidant checked with me. Growing up, there are a lot of traumatic issues that happen. For instance, a person who grew up in an abusive home where they experienced or saw that their parents had a loveless marriage, grew up knowing that love is a scam. And so you get the person when as the more they grow up, the more they shun away from love. They don't want to experience something real. They are afraid of experiencing something real because the first example of love that was said to them was something bad. Let me dehydrate. Also, you can get if a person was abused while they were young, they will resent a certain gender because of what happened to them. Now, this is not a video to guilt trip you, but this is a video to heal and to make ourselves better in this channel and to just evolve into the best versions of ourselves. One thing that I realized is that many people think that when you're a child, you don't capture things. But the truth of the matter is, when you are a child, you learn your environment. As much as you cannot speak, as much as you cannot express yourself, or you can't say it the way people can understand it, you learn and you pick a lot of things from your environment. Now, whatever you pick will dictate how you behave if you're not very careful. If you picked up bad things, if it was so toxic, you'll behave in a toxic way, because at the end of the day, hurting people hurt others. And sometimes you don't realize that you're hurt until maybe you get into a relationship, and then you get yourself that you have trust issues, you get yourself that you can't be vulnerable. Because what? Growing up, being vulnerable was not an option. Expressing your feelings was not an option. Maybe your parents were not emotionally available, so you tended to keep things to yourself, or you tended to just not talk to someone. And now that brings the issue of, you can get people like they are dying with something but they will never say. Some people got their trust broken, and so they have trust issues and they never trust anyone. Now, these habits or these behaviors um, if not careful, we can pass them to other people unknowingly. So if you are hurt, you can hurt other people. Maybe you are knowing, but you just can't help it, or you can hurt them unknowingly. Just going through my social media platforms, going through my pages and some of the groups that I'm in, one thing I realized is that very many people are hurt. I just look at posts and how people comment, and sometimes it's so heartbreaking and it's so sad because people outside here are hurt. I'm telling you the truth, guys. People outside here were abused when they were young. People outside here were heartbroken. People outside here never received parental love. That is why you'll hear someone saying, quote unquote, I go for older men because I never experienced fatherly love. I go for older women because I never experienced motherly love. This is my stand and this is my opinion. So if you're gonna stone me for it, it's okay. You do whatever you want, boo. Like, do you. But at the end of the day, people have pasts. You choose, you have a choice whether to stay in your past, to behave in your dysfunctional past, or to forge ahead and to be the better version of yourself. You know, guys, we can't go around here doing things that are like, it's like we're not thinking while doing it, you know, doing things that are funny and then blame it on our past. You know, it was so sad that a few months ago that I realized that hurt or trauma can really change people. As much as good memories changes people, as much as love changes people, pain can also change people. And just getting to a point where you don't trust anyone, that is not the end point. This is what this video for today is. Even as we will continue for this is not the end point, you know. This is not where it ends. There is a whole bright future before you. You just have to look past the hurt. You just have to look past the trauma. And I will tell you one thing, even as I'm advocating for healing, healing is not something easy. I've tried it for 2 years now. And guys, healing, I just say the truth, is for the strong. Have you ever had a friend or an acquaintance or someone you know that is in a toxic marriage, and you get the other partner is really beating them up, treating them badly, and they can't leave? They can't tell you that they are not leaving because of the kids. You know, they have no reason not to leave, but they can't leave. You know, when you look at someone's past, ukiangalia nyuma, if you go back, you realize that maybe this person growing up, their parents had that tough love. Their parents were always fighting. Their parents were never on terms. Maybe shouting at each other. The house had no peace. And you know, you get to a point whereby that is the normal to them. You know, one thing I realize is that what is normal to me is not necessarily normal to someone else. You know, you can sit in a point and be like, but why are you behaving abnormally? No, this is not that like this. But remember one thing, you people grew up differently, different cultures, different things. So whatever I perceive normal is not whatever someone else perceives as normal. People are so different. So guys, I came to realize that you'll get this person hatoki kwa hiyo marriage. They don't get out of that relationship. Now you're there asking yourself, and you're like, what is wrong with them? Like, wanafaa kuwa wameenda kabisa. They're supposed to have left like yesterday. But you know what? To that person, maybe it's just normal to them. They don't see any problem with that because daddy and mommy used to fight all day long. So that is normal to me. I'll fight with my husband and we are going to strive. There is no way we are leaving this relationship. However, how much dysfunctional it is, how much toxic it is. But people don't realize that these toxic traits, we pass them to other people. So if me and my husband are always fighting, if I have a kid, trust you me, the kid is sensing what is happening. The kid is sensing shift of energy between us, and they can know, even if they don't talk, even if they're too young to express themselves, or even out of fear, they can know that something is not right somewhere. This is not how it is supposed to be. And now we get to a point whereby we're like, okay, this is how I behave because of this. Now, but let me give you some personal story. So guys, it's something that is very silly, but I really resonate from it. When I was 12, I was in class 6. There's a boy that wrote me a letter. If my classmates are watching this, they'll know who I'm talking about. So there's this boy that wrote me a letter when I was 12. Now, the problem is this. I don't know how the story was twisted, but I never knew he wrote me a letter. That is my truth. I never knew that he wrote me a letter, and I was ambushed on parade with the teachers, claiming that I was in a relationship. And let me tell you guys who was seriously beaten. Miss J Gongo Ivo. Those teachers, wherever you are, I forgive you. And I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel. So we were seriously beaten. Now, at that point in my life, I never understood what love was. I never knew. Like, I think I had, when people experience adolescent and people were jumpy, I think mine was kind of delayed. I think mine was kind of delayed. I came to experience that later on in life. And it was so tough, because how my brain recorded this was, if someone loves you, they're going to hurt you. So I remember the first step I took is I just told my mom then that I wanted to leave the school. So I transferred to another school. Now, when I transferred to another school, I tried my best to change my behavior. In this previous school, I was this bubbly girl, joyful, talks to everyone. It's very happy. I was just a happy soul. Then when I transferred, I just became cold. I really didn't like associating with people, mostly of the opposite sex, because one thing that I had in mind is that if you're too close to them, they're going to like you, and you're going to get beaten, or it will bring punishment. So I tried my best not to get to a space whereby I had any familiarity with any man. So I remember even like my friends, all of my friends were female. Like, I don't think I even had a male friend after transferring. So fast forward, I really didn't know what this was doing to me. To me, I just thought it was like I created a wall. I put my walls up so that I could not expect love or just having friends from the opposite sex, because of what my brain had recorded, because of what happened. Now, I grew up with this, and I just realized that, number one, I developed trust issues. I never trusted anybody. No man, no woman, nothing. Number two, I made sure that I don't attach myself so closely to people, because I was just afraid of, what if they like me, and what if it brings me problem. Just getting to a point whereby I was never vulnerable, and that is what I'm dealing with right now. I realized that I can love someone. I really love them. Like I can.
The way I can tell them, like, I really love you, like, I love you, but just expressing it, just expressing it, just showing how much I'm out. I never did that.
Up to now, I even don't know how to do it. I struggle. Just looking back, I even wonder, how did my exes really love me? Because I was, okay, if you give yourself a break, if you give yourself time to heal, these are the things that you'll discover about yourself. Maybe, like, if you could have asked me, like, 2 years or 3 years ago, I would tell you, like, I'm the best thing someone can ever have, or some things like that. But just looking back, I realized I was the problem too. I never let my guard down. My walls were always up. So guys, these are the things that people deal with. Some other people, they experienced low self-esteem or someone just shushed their self-esteem. Someone told them you're not beautiful. Look at you, you're ugly. And so someone just grows up knowing they're ugly. Yani ana grow up knowing they're ugly. So the first person to tell them that they're beautiful, akishaisikia tu hivi, boom, hell breaks loose. Yani hawajiwezi, hawashikiki, like, it's not something like they have affirmed themselves with, and they really know that I can be this thing without someone really preaching it to me. And so, guys, this is some of the things that people struggle with according to their past. And so, guys, I just love this topic, and I can continue talking about it every time and every day and every hour. And guys, if you just really like this series of healing and just going past our childhood traumas, I'm going to talk about a lot. So guys, one more thing, guys, that I have forgotten is bullying. Some people were bullied while they were still young. So it's either this made them either to be tough or to shell out. Like, they don't want to be noticed. They don't want to be the laughing. They don't want to be visible. So other people, like, they really try their best to make themselves feel invisible in a place. They was experience that bullying, or they just grow horns and they're like, hey, come, you can't bully me. I was bullied when I was still young. And utapata those people, like, even in their adulthood age, they're so entitled with life. Wanna feel like they own everything, like everything good enough for you out, like they deserve it. So these are some of the things that our past does to us. Remember that this is a series, and I will continue with it until we get a solution and until we get better in our various aspects of life. So guys, once again, I am Daisy Simedi, and thank you so much for watching. If you're